Kia ora koutou i te whānau. Happy Thursday, and jumping into your email inbox once again with some news, some tidbits, some gems to share with you that I hope are really meaningful and valuable to you. So this week I have got a whakatauki in there as always, really cool one that I actually came across this morning whilst scrolling through my news feed, and I have got in there one of the businesses from our Facebook group. So if you haven't already joined the Indigenous Women's Potential Facebook group, please do come over and jump in, because each Friday we have a marketplace day, and our marketplace day looks different depending on the Friday. So make sure you follow the rules, but it is an opportunity to share the wonderful wahine and business that we have in the group, for them to share their offers, share sales, share blog posts, their websites, their products, their services, all those wonderful things. Because as you know, I am super passionate about building up the capabilities and the capacities of Indigenous women in business, but also building up their sales. So what better way to do that than to support one another, to buy from one another, and to use each other when we need services in our business. So jump over and join the group if you haven't already, but also take a look at the wonderful business that I have shared below, who is in our Facebook group and who shared their services on Market Day last week. Now I really wanted to share a topic that has been coming up in my coaching sessions this week. Often there are themes going on in the week and the time and the month, and I love to share them, because if it comes up for one person, chances are it's relevant, or it's insightly for more than one person, for someone else. So I really wanted to share this that was coming up for a couple of my clients, and it was this idea around the things that we focus our time on and the things that we focus our thoughts on, how they impact the rest of our thought and action process. And so we've talked about the RAS before, the reticular activating system, and how the more we focus on something, the more it shows up for us. But also I wanted to talk to you just today around how our thoughts go through this process that lead to the outcomes that we end up with, that then switch into new thoughts that we then believe. The evidence of the result affirms or contradicts the thought that we had originally. So it's really about being mindful and being aware of the thoughts that we are letting into our mind on a daily basis, that we're letting show up for us, and how they play out. So we have a thought, and if we allow it to, that thought then becomes a belief. And a belief system is what influences our actions, and when we take action, we get results. And depending on the results, our thought process then affirms or denies the thought that we had originally. So it's this cycle, it's this loop that continues and continues unless we put a circuit breaker in. So let me give you an example. A thought might be that I am not good enough to have my own business. And so the belief then becomes that I'm not good enough. The action then becomes I won't start my own business. The result is I don't have my own business. And therefore the thought is, see, I told you, I'm not good enough to have my own business. And the loop keeps going around, because I continue to believe that thought because I don't have my own business and I'm not taking a step towards getting my own business. So I continue to believe that the evidence is there that I will never be good enough to have my own business. What we need to do is we need to put a circuit breaker in those thought patterns. We need to slash them in half, cut out those thought processes and those beliefs, and create a new one. And you can actually interject at any point in this slope. You can interject with a new thought, you can interject with a new belief, you can interject with a new action, which will lead to a new result. So wherever it is in that thought process, I want you to think about, what is a thought and a belief that is influencing your actions and your outcomes right now, that if you were to put a circuit breaker in, if you were to cut through, to slice through the way that you're doing things right now, that would make a real difference in your business. Take a think. I've got an image that I will share with you as well that I think will be really powerful in just understanding how that loop works. But essentially, if you think it, you'll believe it, you'll do it, and you'll get it. So that's essentially how it works. The other thing I wanted to share is, and you know, I try to stay away from talking about anything COVID related in my updates with you guys, because to be honest, everyone else is talking COVID. The newsfeed, the online space is inundated with COVID, with politics, with updates, with all of that sort of stuff, and I figure that you've had enough. But one thing I will share with you that I shared with a client this morning is that we are being inundated with information about COVID-19, and sometimes if you're in the thick of it, if you're in Tamaki Makaurau and you're in week something of a lockdown, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. Sometimes it can just be a little bit too much, and we get stuck into this spiral, this loop of thinking that we need to know more information, thinking we need to know what else is going on, second guessing what we know, starting to get overwhelmed. Our heart starts to feel a bit jittery. We start to feel a little bit anxious. It starts to play out in our emotions and in our body. I want you to offer yourself the gift of taking a break from those updates. Those updates are going to be there whether you check them at 1 o'clock today, or at 5 o'clock today, or at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. When you offer yourself the gift of just taking a breather. Sometimes we need to disconnect for a little bit to be able to gain back some composure, gain back some clarity in our mind, know where we are, know what we're in control of, and know what is right in front of us in the present. So we've got a long weekend coming up this weekend. If you're going to be stuck at home or in your bubble, then I encourage you to take a few days off. Take a few days off social media, take a few days off the news, off TV, and find a way to ground yourself once again and connect in with who you are and what you know in this moment. Hope you're all having a wonderful week. Take care. I will be back in your inbox again next week. And as always, if there's anything that I can do to support you and your business, please do feel free to reach out.